And good morning to and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I do every day. I'm on location, as you can see. And today is our Tip Tuesday. And let me know if you guys can hear me clearly. I think you can. Today we'll be talking about how to photograph for Black History Month. So that's what we'll be talking about for today in our lesson for our Tip Tuesday, because today is Tip Tuesday. That's what we do on Tuesdays. So welcome all. So there's a lot going on in the news today. I'm probably not going to go too much into it unless you guys want to, but I will tell you is that if you want to get a play-by-play um, video narrated about the Petty shooting in Minneapolis, you can definitely look at the Morning Joe. Morning Joe has an amazing footage that they use and narrated from the footage from the New York Times. So check that out if you haven't. If not, you can also check on Don Lemon. He just did it a little while ago on his platform. He's been talking about a lot of this, what's going on. So if you want some in-depth information from news folks, because it's not a news channel, we are community photographers, creatives, and we do talk about different items here in this community. Like tomorrow, we'll be definitely diving into the shooting and what's going on in the world. A couple of footage that we'll have for tomorrow. And so we'll do that. But today is all about photography. But I also wanted to know how you guys are doing today in after this, after a snowstorm or a storm, wherever you were located, or after the shooting is starting to heat up in the media. And but yes, I'm here on location. I'm here in Times Square, and I just had an event that I photographed today. And my client is excited about those photos. So I'm right here editing them. But then I had to take a pause because I wanted to be with you as I always am during the days, during the week. So let's say hello to some folks. And look who's in the building. Hannah has reclaimed a gold medal. Hannah is back in the building. She says, good, happy, snowy morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family. Yes, speaking of snow, I arrived here in Times Square. And for those that have not, they say things that are cleared, but the streets are filled with snow. And it is hard to get around in the streets here in New York City. But I did get some great shots this morning as I was Ubering it down into the city. So let's see who else is in the building. I see here Omar has the silver. He says here. And then Mr. Adrian has a bronze today. He says late but present. welcome. And he says, wait, you're not home? I left early, Sonny boy. I left early. And so I left around 6:30 this morning. I left out and to get down here for this event that started at 8 o'clock. And you know how you do, you have to get here early because when you're on time, you are late, as they say. And I see here Anthony Rowland Photography is in the building. Good morning. And I see Hannah's in the building. Say hello. And Omar says, made it to my office. And Jazzy's in the building. Good morning, beautiful people, with her wonderful roses. We have the wonderful Dr. Tachi. She goes, hey, friend. Hey, friend. And we say also, happy to reclaim my medal, says Hannah. She's happy to reclaim her medal. Her medal. And so good to see G in the building. G is in the building. G Art Houston Jack. She says morning. And Dr. Tachi is saying hello, hey, hey, hey. And we have also Indy Jerez, 8744 is in the building. Hello, how are you? Welcome. And we have the wonderful Janet. She says, greetings all. So folks are popping in, popping in. The flashes are going. I don't know. I guess someone's taking pictures of me. Oh, I think it's the flash. And it says, please. Dr. Holly says, Hannah plays no games with the gold. Absolutely not. Welcome to New York. I'm back in New York. When you hear sirens, you know you are in New York City. And I see here, Omar says, I saw Ron early this morning. Should grab that gold. You saw me on my Instagram live. And I've decided no more Instagram. As of now, no more Instagram. I find that when I'm on Instagram, it I don't know, it seems that folks, it lowers the numbers. Is that possible? Well, when I'm not on Instagram, it's moving forward. So anyway, I see Jazzy's in the building. She says again, yes, Anthony, Roland. Um, Hannah says, I will gladly share it with you, Omar. No worries. And I see all the love between you guys. So there's a lot going on in the news. And I have to tell you, we keep saying this is the thing that's going to, make MAGA get their brains. I don't know what's possible, but um, this incident is really getting a lot of traction, and there are lots of angles and footage of the shooting in Minnesota on Saturday. So, what's on your mind today? What's on your mind today? First of all, what are you drinking today, y'all? What are you drinking? What are you drinking? I have lemon ginger tea on the house. Oh, first, for those that don't know, I am here at the Tempo. It's a new hotel called Tempo Hilton. This is a beautiful Hilton hotel right here in Times Square, right off of Broadway. Beautiful, where all the big signs are right out here behind me. And yeah, so it's an amazing hotel, and the staff is wonderful. It's just full of good quality hosting. Anyway, I got my tea bags and my tea here, and it feels good to have my tea early in the morning. I do love a good lemon ginger tea, or if it's not that, it's green tea. And Dr. Tati says, Instagram is not interested in lives. They don't put any effort into improvements, and something always messes up. Thank God I was alive on other platforms when we did Jane Kennedy's interview. Wait a minute. Speaking of Jane Kennedy's interview, Dr. Tachi did an amazing interview with Jane Kennedy. It had me in tears. It moved me. It empowered me. It was absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for alerting me that the interview was going on. And when I got there, I was totally, totally invested in it. So if you have not seen it, go to Indie Soup Media and Dr. Tachi's page and check it out. What I'll also do is I will have a link in this description for this video. Dr. Tachi says she was phenomenal. And if you love sports, if you are a follower of sports and women who anchor in sports or do broadcasting in sports. There's a lot to be learned from that interview. That interview was priceless. You could not put a price tag on that interview. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. I was like, Dr. Tachi landed a good one. That was an interview worth watching several times. And thank you, Dr. Tachi, for bringing that to us. Um, I see. He said, I've got chocolate joy and top of the morning from Bun Knob. Okay, that's an interesting name. And Jazzy says she's drinking water. Dr. Tachi says she's drinking Earl Grey. And that's what Will says chocolate chard. What is that? What is chocolate chard? And let's see, Elsa was saying, hey, is in the building. She says, Grand Rising Ron and everyone at Touch Base Daily. Also, if you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the like. You can hit it several times. Hit the like. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Okay, and I think I got everybody in. Let's see here. And so the next question is, what's on your mind this morning? What are you thinking about this morning? What has you pondering this morning? Oh, Omar said he has coffee. Yeah, what has you pondering this morning? And someone dear to me says to me every day, or almost every day, how's your heart? How's your heart? I see here Bryson's in the building. He says, we ain't got no water at home. Sorry to hear that, Bryson. But Bryson is in the building. And he says, what's up, Ron? What's up, everybody? I'm back home. Okay. And Omar says he has Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Omar, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have a conversation. Anthony, do you agree? We're gonna have a talk with our boy. Oh, forgive me. That was Gwendolyn speaking in French to me. So that was hot chocolate, Ron, in Francais or France in French. And so hot chocolate. I don't know how to say hot in French yet. And I don't know how to say chocolate, hot chocolate. So maybe that's what chard is. Okay, I'm learning. And I see here, Anthony says, there's some mega fatigue on the right. There's only so much of the foolishness they can defend. All of the prestigation and lies are taking its toll. Mint tea, says Janet. She's drinking mint tea. And Hannah says drinking warm water and lemon. Thank you, Anthony. It's hot chocolate in French. Joining in with Gwendolyn. Well, I will tell you, I'm on day 40, 145, 146 in my French class learning. I'm learning pretense or yeah. So there we go. I'm still learning. Omar says, I needed to get outside and see nature. Cabin fever is real. So speaking of getting out, so last night I walked down the block from the house to the golf course to try to take pictures and see if there was any wildlife out there. Near the sunset, there was no wildlife except for a squirrel. So I did photograph the squirrel. I said, well, you are all I have to photograph today. So I photographed the squirrel. And then I was trying to get some photos with the bridge and then from the bridge. And it snowed so much in Jersey that I tried to go up the hill to get to walk towards the bridge. And that did not work out because as I put my foot up and down, my foot went all the way through the snow, and the snow was literally almost up to my waist. And I had to back out and roll out to, to the ground to get out of the snowdrift that had consumed me. And so it really was not a day to take photos in the golf course this time. It was too much snow to take pictures. And the area where the eagles were before, well, they were also, that area was full of high drifts. So no photos, only a couple of beautiful sky photos against, let's just say, the trees and snow against the beautiful reflected sky. That's the best way to put it. I see here Omar says, I needed to get outside and see nature. Got that one. Anthony says, I'm drinking a latte with almond milk. Nothing like a good latte. You should be in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And hi, Anthony says, Jan. Okay, on the Janet. And Dr. Tati says, squirrels are wildlife. He's probably listening to you now saying, what am I chopped? What am I chopped liver? Omar says, I may go do some landscape photography. I pass a frozen bridge on the way to my office. It's cold out, y'all. And it is rumor that another snowstorm is brewing. Get ready. Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, depending on where you are. And Janet is laughing at me. Is Janet laughing? Janet, are you laughing at me or with me? And Kaz Lou is in the building. She says, good day. Blessings all. Again, if you're in the building, make sure you hit the like. It lets people know we're here. She goes, oh no, pics are nice that you took. Thank you. And then the nerve that my glasses, my Meta glasses did not work yesterday. And I was like, what the heck? It worked one day and it didn't work the next. I got to figure out what I did right the first day. And there's I love you guys because you guys are always giving me the hooked on phonics. Yeah. Hot, shoo, shoo, not cold, but shoo, and cold is wah, wah. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony, for that French lesson today. Now I know how to say hot and cold. Okay, nice. Thank you. Thank you. And Elise is in the building. She says, good morning, everyone. Yes, if you're just joining, today we're going to be talking about how to photograph for Black History Month. And I'm going to pretty much go right into it in a little bit. So let's see here. Kaz says, do you think temperatures has something to do with it? As in the animals not being out there? I do. It was so cold yesterday. I went outside and I literally said, and it's interesting because I definitely felt mentally slower in the cold, and I felt the pressure of walking. I could feel myself getting exhausted, and so this morning they did I think it was on ABC News this morning here in New York. They mentioned that how when it's cold outside, your blood vessels contract. Did not know this. So your blood vessels contract, which means that's why some people have heart attacks in the cold, because your blood vessels contract in the cold. Well, I'm so glad I was dressed warmly yesterday. But yeah, that's what happens when you're out in the cold and doing strenuous stuff. When was I shaking my head? I wasn't going to say anything, Anthony. And then Dr. Tati says, Anthony, of course you know the pronunciation with your fancy latte and almond milks. You guys are great. I love you guys. Um, think not autocorrect. The glasses. No, the glasses. It was colder the day before, so not sure why the meta glasses did not work yesterday. But I'm sure it's something I did. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna be an expert with those glasses by spring. And yeah, it says, here you go. It does take a bit more energy when cold and snow deep. Um, G says, are we not reading the thoughts shared? Here's another. Halo is 25 years old. Oh, really? The game, right? Halo is the game. And how many of you guys are video gamers? Well, we know I can tell you one in the building, not I. But yeah, Halo, that's been around a long time. Yes. And and if some of the comments happen to pass by, please don't be insulted. I'm only one person and I can only see but so much. So has nothing against you. Like some people, they feel very personal, like, oh, you forgot me, Ron. You didn't say much. On most platforms, most of the comments that I shared, we're doing great on this. We're doing great on this platform. And we share most of them. Kaslu says, yes, people have to be careful. Yep. And shoveling snow. And let's see here. Dr. Anthony says, Dr. Tachi, and last, I gotta use it somewhere. And Dr. Tachi says, well, Ron, maybe if you had your glasses on, you could see all the comments. I have my glasses on, and believe it or not, I would not be able to see the comments without them. Sass says, no worries, just proceed. Meta, yes, Meta glasses. And if you're new in this community, make sure you click on the subscribe and make sure you hit the like. Yes. So, are you guys ready for some schooling? It is time for some photography lessons. G says, I'm not insulted. You asked for our thoughts. I'm not talking about you, girl. But there are some that might feel a little insulted when their comments are missed. Just saying. Are y'all ready for school time? I see the laughter. Omar says, I have not shoveled snow in 30 years. Yes, that's what you have children for. That's what you have children. That is why you have children. Dr. Taki says, school time. And it says, yes, we are ready for school. Okay, let me give you guys some banner stuff so that we can be informed. Well, first of all, if you don't know, now you know, we have a YouTube community, and you just go to Ron Lewis Photos right there, Touch Base Daily. If you go on Instagram, on Google, and on that community page, you can put photography, text messages, conversations, and engagements. Also, if you're looking to be part of our email list, make sure you sign up for the email at ronlewisphotos.com, and you can get some information that way. And also, for those in the building, I am an event photographer. So if you're interested in event photography and you have an event happening, make sure you reach out. You can reach out to Google or right here on YouTube. Next, thank you, Patreon members. You are what keeps us going. Your support helps us to create amazing content. So we are thankful for our Patreon members. And this lesson will be found in the Patreon page. As a matter of fact, you probably got this lesson this morning. So if you're in the Patreon community, you already got this lesson just without the slide presentation. So, and last but not least, join this YouTube channel, hit the like and subscribe. you are invited. Okay, are y'all ready for school? Are you ready for some schooling? I think you are. I think you are. Let's start. Let's talk about photography. So today is the last week of January. Next week is February. It is Black History Month. And we'll be talking about how to photograph for Black History Month. Okay? So we have tips every Tuesday for those that are new to this platform. And we share on Tuesdays photography tips, smartphone photography, photography for holidays, whatever is happening. We want to share how you can take better photos, mainly with those who have smartphones, but also all these tips apply to all cameras. Okay, let's get started. Let me get this little banner out the way. Everybody knows it's Tip Tuesday, but here we go. Introduction. Black History Month invites us to slow down, look deeper, and honor the stories that shaped our world. As photographers, we hold the privilege of documenting not just moments, but meanings, the joy, resilience, creativity, and everyday brilliance within Black communities. This month is an opportunity to approach our craft with intention, respect, and commitment to uplifting the voices and histories that deserve to be seen. These tips are here to guide you as you create images that celebrate legacy, honor culture, and contribute to a living archive of Black excellence. If you have any questions along this, make sure you put Q and then your question in the comment box so that way we can address your questions. Hey, Tanya, I see you in the building. I see you in the building. Here we go. Next. First thing, there are going to be 12 tips. Lead with respect and intention. Begin by asking, what story am I honoring? Whose legacy am I uplifting? Black History Month isn't about extracting images. It's about documenting with care, gratitude, and awareness. Yes, lead with a request and intention. Next, number 2, center Black joy, not just struggle. And this is what separates usually Black photographers that are covering stories for Black um, events or stories, news stories that are happening, is that we focus on the full spectrum of our community versus just the struggle. There's a place for the struggle, but it is so much more important to photograph the full spectrum of the stories, sharing the joys, sharing the heartfelt moments. They're important to share because other communities don't get to see it. Okay? So unless you take your camera out, photograph it, post it on your Instagram account, post it in your YouTube channel, post it somewhere so that people that are not used to seeing Black joy can see it. So get your photography out there. Center Black joy, not just struggle. Next, photograph community spaces with art. And you know how we like to do. Churches, barbershops, salons, bookstores, community centers, and local cultural hubs are living archives. Capture the textures, gestures, and interactions that define these spaces. Let me tell you, one of the things I love to do is photograph people in church. Well, that's not, do you want to hear something funny? That is how I got started in photography. is I would take pictures around the church with my friends. So I was like 14 years old, 15 years old, and I would take pictures. And then my pastor, who became my dad, my adopted dad, said to me and said, "You really love this camera stuff." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well," he says, "Do you need money for a real camera?" And that's when he gave me some money and he gave me responsibilities and said, "Since you love photography so much, you can photograph when we have events here at the church and bus outings and barbecues and all the stuff. You could be responsible for documenting these events here at the church." And that's how I got started in photography. Who knew, right? So churches, barbershops, salons, bookstores, all that stuff. Take pictures, go to these events and photograph these events. Like Gwendolyn does the food bank, or I should say the food charity that they're doing in her town. Guys, there's many stories out there you could share from our community and in these communities specifically. Next, this is one of my favorites. Highlight elders and their stories. Portraits of elders carry history in their eyes, posture, and presence. Spend time listening before shooting. The story will guide the frame. What do you mean by that? When I first started my photography classes, before I went to Africa, I met up with a wonderful photographer who worked for National Geographic, and she gave us a class. And we went out into the streets to get some footage and photographing Union Square here in New York City. And I was like, everyone's taking pictures. I can't seem to find something to take a picture of. So I was just hanging out. And then I saw this gentleman that was playing chess. And he just looked so unique. And I went over and asked him, "May I take your photo?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Okay." And then he says, "Do you know why I said no?" And I said, "No." And he looked at me and he said, "My face is more than a picture." I said, "Okay." So what I did was I said, "Can I sit down and have a conversation with you?" He was an older gentleman. And we sat down and we had a great conversation about his life, his children, his family. We did so much to in conversation. And then midway into the conversation, I said, "May I photograph you now?" And he said, "Yes, you may photograph me. You may photograph me as we speak." And I got some of the most amazing photos. And then when my instructor for the day saw the photos, she said, "You had a moment." And I said, she said, "A moment of interaction." And she could tell because of the quality of the images. Because when people get to know you and see your sincerity in how you want to represent them, they let down their guard. Now, if you're a stranger just hanging out, most people come with the guard up. But when you come in willing to listen to their story, people love to tell their story. So you will get better photos if you take time to listen to your subject. Nice, all right? Did you know that? Did you know that? Next one. Here's another one. Document culture, rituals, and traditions. From Sunday dining, from Sunday dinners to dance rehearsals, from quilting circles to step teams. I love those. These moments are rich with meaning. Focus on hands, movement, and details that reveal heritage. Now, here's another thing about me that you might not know is that when I'm sitting down talking to an individual, one of the things I am truly observing are people's hands. I am fascinated by people's hands. Don't know why. I just find that hands tell you a story about the individual. And I'm able to gauge certain things by the hands. I am drawn to people's hands, like photos of a married couple getting engaged and putting the ring on the finger, or at the wedding, photographing the hand and exchanging of the rings, or, the hands, or an elderly person just with their hands on their lap. The beauty of that moment of sharing hands. That's just my thing, but there's many things about people. I like faces without makeup. I like wrinkles. I like older people with wrinkles. I love the realness of how people look. So there you have. Focus on hands, hand movements or hands in details that reveal heritage. Another, use light symbolically. Warm light can evoke legacy. Hard light can emphasize strength. Shadows can suggest memory or reflection. Let light deepen the story, not just illuminate it. Be intentional with your light. Be intentional with your lighting. Okay? Next, photograph Black art and artists. Murals, scriptures, performances, fashion, music, rehearsals. These are expressions of identity and pride. Remember to make sure to credit artists and ask permission when appropriate. So when you are doing this, go out there. The murals, like I love I'm just sharing all this is the stuff that I do every day. I love going to Bedford-Stuyvesant, but I really like going to Harlem. Williamsburg, it used to be this place where you can get lots of great murals. But when you walk around Harlem, there's an expression of murals everywhere down different blocks. And taking pictures of those murals is a part of telling your story of Black History Month. So, murals, sculptures, performances, fashion, music, jazz concerts. I like to photograph them all. That is another way to embrace African American, or I should say, Black History Month. Cass says, I probably have or had pics that some may not have of themselves, special events, and even some of their kids. We laugh about the kids, one, historians without even knowing I was one. It's true. It's true. It's very true. So you just realize that, you have that ability to document history. And that's going to be our closing. So that's hold that thought. Look for everyday heroism. Teachers, activists, parents, monitors, small business owners. These are the backbone of the Black history in the making. or say of Black history in the making. A simple portrait can become a powerful tribute. It's okay to take a picture of your mom, your dad, your cousins, whoever, hanging out at the coffee table, I should say at a dinner table, and taking up, asking, say, may I take a picture of you right now? And you can take great portraits of people. Just lift up your camera and take a photo and document the moment. Everybody's a hero in the community. Everyone is a hero. Next one. Here we go. Honor the past through present. Juxtapose old and new. A young dancer in front of a historical theater. A child reading a book by a Black author. A modern portrait in a historically significant neighborhood. This creates visual continuity across generations. Okay? I remember when I was in South Carolina and I had the opportunity to walk down this aisle, this alleyway, Philadelphia alleyway, where we saw bricks with the hands of children of the enslaved. That the children also made the bricks and laid the bricks in this alleyway. Children enslaved. And so we walked down and then we also took pictures. So important, the juxtaposition of old and new. Invite collaboration, not extraction. Photography during Black History Month should feel like a partnership. Share images with their subjects, ask for input, and build relationships. It's a great time to pair up with other photographers, connect with other photographers, come up with stories and come up with concepts. Shoot, you might have an exhibition that you may be able to share, a story that you can put on Instagram or some platform in social media. Don't be afraid to collaborate. Okay? Caption with care. For all those social media folks out there, social media. A photograph becomes even more powerful when paired with context. Include names, quotes, historical notes, personal reflections. This turns images into living archives. So when you post, don't just post a picture. Share a little information that goes with the picture. Okay? Challenge yourself to see beyond the obvious. Look past cliches and seek nuances. Black history is vast, layered, and evolving. Their images should reflect that depth. Your images should reflect the depth. Okay? And to sum it all up, photographing for Black History Month is about more than capturing images. It's about honoring people, places, and stories with care. By centering joy, listening deeply, documenting community spaces, highlighting elders, and approaching every subject with respect, photographers can create work that reflects the richness and depth of Black culture. Thoughtful use of light, intentional storytelling, and meaningful captions help transform photographs into tributes. When we collaborate with our subjects and look beyond the obvious, we create images that celebrate heritage, preserve memory, and contribute to a powerful visual legacy. So this February, use your camera to create the precious moments you want to document and preserve for you and future generations. Okay, what says you? What says you, y'all? What says you? Did you learn anything today? Did you learn anything? What did you learn? If you learned something, put it in the comment box so I know you learned something. Cass says, yes, pass with oops, let me go there. Cass says, post with intention. Agree. Pics with intention. And she also says, I probably have to or had pics that some may not have of themselves. And then she shared this earlier, special events, even some of their kids. My family, we laugh about the pictures that my aunt used to take of all of us because she was truly the photographer of the family. You want to document your family's life. And one of my friends, he says his daughter does not like the pictures. But you know what? Take them anyway. And then when those kids are grown ups, they will look back at those pictures and then they will see themselves in a way that they never saw themselves before. You are the documentarian, whether it's with your smartphone, right? Smartphone, or one of these big babies, right? You are the documentarian. Document your family life, document your neighborhood, document what you think is special and precious that people should know in the future. And Hannah says, I agree. Photograph with intention. Be intentional. Be intentional. Another thing that my buddy always says, create images. Create images. Don't just take a photo, create a photo. And you can create better photos with all of these suggestions. All of that you learned today, you can create better images. Right? Tanya says, absolutely document. It's important that you document it all. Okay, guys, that's it. If no questions, you have 3 seconds to let me know if you have questions. Do you have questions? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for our wonderful Let's Talk Wednesday. And have a great Tuesday. Get out there and do something wonderful. Document your world. Take out those smartphones and use them. You have them. Use them. And I see here, Cass says, great tips today and reflections to prepare for next month. Aya says, thank you, Ron. Great lesson to capture Black History Month, joy, and collaborate with other photographers. The story will guide the frame. Somebody was reading. Somebody looked at their Patreon page. That's right. If you had the Patreon page, you could just follow along with your Patreon. Right? Okay. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. I'm going to spend some time editing a little bit, and then I'm going to hang out in the city and then head back to Jersey. Love you, and have a great day. I'm out.